Hello, it's been a while since I've done a journal video. I'm very behind actually, so I'm going to do a quick video walkthrough, or try to make it quick, of this newly completed journal, which is a very small little volume with just a cardstock cover, and it says Private Receipt Book, and it's got a little wooden key on the front. This book has been inspired by two things. One is my passion for the Salem witch trials in Salem, Massachusetts in the 1692 and 1693, so 17th century. And on that note, I have also just finished rereading, and this was the final inspiration, the Physic Book of Deliverance Dane, which I've read before. It's by Catherine Howe. I thoroughly recommend this book. Lovely book. Anyway, I just finished it, and it made me feel I really need to make a journal inspired by the physic book or receipt book of a 17th century cutting woman, perhaps handed down through the years. So I added a few things at the end to try and bring it more current. So it just ties with a little bit of twill tape, and let me try to make this a quick walkthrough. So it's got marbled paper lining the inside cover, which are made by Lyndon Lee Paper in Ottawa. She has an Etsy store and a Instagram page. The first page, this is all my own design. The designs for this journal is entirely my own. There's a little image here of 17th century town, a crow, and some ink spatters. I say lots of room to write in this journal. A little hawthorn label with a little hawthorn leaf, and a little envelope which has yarrow on it, and a little note card, note paper with tansy on it, which opens up, and so you have lots of room to write on that. And it tucks in the little yarrow envelope and tucks in that pocket. There's a little tiny pocket here with a portrait of a Puritan era woman, actually a Puritan era poet, 17th century poet. This is an image of a botanical page of foxglove. This is a recipe here for a medicinal water that is reputed to have been taken by Elizabeth I. And there's a little foxglove label tucked under here to match this, and another little note paper, which also happens to be a recipe to cure chapped lips, to make a salve or balm for chapped lips. There's a little page, this is a little pocket made out of a scrap from a medieval manuscript, which, if you notice, if you can read that, says abracadabra. And then they reduce it by one letter as you go down. So bracadabra, rackadabra, abracadabra. I'm not saying that right. Anyway, abracadabra. Older than you thought. Not actually made up words. It is an actual medieval spell word. And then I've tucked behind here, you can use as a note card, a little 17th century apothecary bottle, which just tucks just nicely there. Another crow. This is a page of 17th century notes from a receipt book, physic book. Another little charm just tucked on that page. A little skull and wings, memento mori, and this is another more elaborate memento mori drawing. Memento mori were very popular during the years of the plague, the bubonic plague, and the various plagues that sort of really afflicted Europe. And they would remind themselves that regardless of how lovely life may be, death waits for us all, to sort of keep you grounded on perhaps the good things you should be thinking of, and not just frolicking and having fun. And then I've added in here as note pages 3 of my own sets of botanical drawings. So these are actually my own artwork. I drew these. These are prints of my own artwork, and then I have cut them out as the original one was and aged it. But this is my own artwork. This is from a herbal that I did up for an Anglo-Saxon wise woman demo. So I thought those would make a particularly good addition to a 17th century wise woman's herbal. A little Puritan drawing, a couple of little small pages, another recipe page. This is actually an embroidery sample page. There's a 17th century document here, which is blank on the back. So again, you can use this to write on if you wish. You can, of course, also swap that out for something else if you like, but I thought it looked very nice tucked in there. Some herbal drawings. This is poppy and poppy heads. This is patience. Botanical drawing, more blank pages. This is actually a urine chart, which they would use to judge the color of a urine sample of a patient. This was actually used in the Middle Ages through the 1700s, and probably into the early 1800s to judge health. This is a recipe for black cherry water. Of all the recipes in here, do not follow any of the medicinal recipes, but some of these make very nice. Maybe you may want to use them as inspiration for things to make, and the black cherry water is what actually I'm wanting to try next summer when cherries are in. This is actually a property deed from Salem, Massachusetts. More blank pages, a little broom, a little blackwork calligraphy decoration, a little ship stamp. This is soapwort. Botanical drawing of soapwort, a little mortar and pestle, which every good cunning woman would have. This is a little round sheet of magical spells, which goes through to the other side. A little pocket made out of a palm reader's drawing with a little note card of another one. This one's in English, this one's in Latin. This folds out for a 16th century drawing of a apothecary's garden and production shop. It's a lovely portrait of a 17th century woman. It's the other half of that magical seal page, again from an actual extant magical text. A little tiny mini pocket with belladonna on it and a little belladonna leaf. Not an actual belladonna leaf, but a image of a belladonna leaf. Botanical drawings of lady's bedstraw and dandelion, showing the root. In case you're wondering why you can't get them out of your yard, there's the length of the root. That's why your dandelions keep growing back. This is it says, to make a key. This is another page from a magical text, which has a little fold out. Another botanical drawing of red rose campion. This is from a published in 1700 book, More Wonders of the Invisible World. And they actually, some of the articles that were in this book were discussing the Salem witch trials of just a few years previous. A little pocket made out of a protective symbol, magical symbol, from a period text, so it'd be from a medieval text. The little note paper tucked under there. This is the other half of the 17th century property deed of Salem, Massachusetts, which I thought would be appropriate. Another urine diagnosis diagram. I could not resist putting that in here, I have to admit. Another little spell diagram. Another botanical page for lady's thistle with a little ink blot and a little mandrake tuck pocket, which is empty. You can put your own thing in. Little tiny pages tucked in. Again, this is from the other side of the signature, and these are, again, more copies of embroidery patterns. A little pocket, which is a recipe for a sugar cake, or sweet cake. And tucked in here, if you hearken back to the little protective magical symbol, this is actually a reproduction in card of the original lead or pewter symbol that actually was found and wrapped in paper. And then there's a little note card also tucked in here, which is modern, but I thought it was adorable, of a witch prepping her new little witch. So I thought that should go in here. This is a bunch of pages from magical texts of the 17th century and earlier, with different recipes in Latin, and then tucked in here is another one, and they have all these different symbols in them. A little pocket labeled for toothache, so it's a recipe for toothache. Again, do not take any of the medical recipes in here. Do not follow them. Another little memento mori image, which I thought fit in, because I do quite love a memento mori image, and that's a little memento mori thing I did, with a skull that actually has letters crossed in it. It is an oath-swearing skull. So you would actually swear on that in, I believe that was more 16th century. Another really unique memento mori, which I thought was very funky, so I added that in here. as well as a little excerpt from A Modest Inquiry into the Nature of Witchcraft, which I think was, that's, oh, I can't remember now the guy's name. Mather? Maybe not Mather. The horrible anti-witch guy of the 17th century. Little woodcut and a little recipe for consumption, tucked into a little pocket made of 17th century books. We're nearing the end. A little botanical drawing of hawthorn, branches, berries, leaves, and flowers. Another little pocket here, made out of actually, this is from a Salem physician's record of patients and how much he charged them. A little pocket of a woodcut of a witch and feeding her familiars. And I thought I'd add in here now the woman who inherited this book, or has had it handed down, which is a much more Edwardian witch. I saw these vintage images and thought, oh, I absolutely must use these in the book. So there's that one. There's the little fold-out bat page. There's a little monk's hood pocket label, which is a mini pocket on a larger pocket with little monk's hood blossoms. Incredibly lethal monk's hood. Don't touch the plant if you see it somewhere. And a family portrait of witches, which again, I thought this sort of was a suiting way to end my witchcraft book. So that's it for me. That's my little, this is available for purchase. Message me on Instagram or YouTube. Message me directly if you're interested in this book. And it will come, as say, wrapped up in ribbon with this little wooden key. And thank you very much and I hope you enjoyed my 17th century witch receipt book journal. Thank you. Bye.